hands down the most frequent question I get asked in my DMs and my comments is, is the avoidant ever going to come back? Here's how it works with avoidants. They desperately crave and long for connection. But as we know, they have an idealized and fantastical view of relationships and they chase the honeymoon phase. Intimacy scares them. When they get to the point in the relationship with you where it has built so much intimacy that they run and hide from the relationship, so then the avoidant leaves, they have another honeymoon phase around their independence, they take some time for themselves, blah, blah, blah. So what is it that will make them want to come back to you? Well, the avoidant has to perceive that you are really gone. Dismissive avoidants only view relationships as safe when they can view them as fantasy, meaning all that disappointment has been wiped away, there is no required intimacy, it's like a fresh slate. This is why after they leave you, they may jump into a new relationship, even though they're saying, I need my independence, I want to be alone. They are honeymoon phase chasers, okay? What they're scared of is commitment. They're not scared of people, they're scared of commitment. So when your relationship feels committed, feels intimate, feels vulnerable, they're going to jump out and they might go be alone for a while. They might do that. But they might just jump into something else because it's going to be easy for them to avoid feeling the grief over you by jumping into a new honeymoon phase, because honeymoon phases feel good. If it's the case that they have jumped into a new relationship, then it's going to take them getting to the point with that new person where that relationship builds intimacy and they get scared in that relationship before they will start missing you. But that's only if they perceive you as completely unavailable and completely gone. The reason why they went for this new person is because this new person was perceived to be unavailable, right? It's probably some phantom ex or some person that they were admiring from a distance. So they're thinking, oh, this person's a much better fit for me, whatever. So they jump into that relationship, they try that out. But of course, relationships require intimacy. So they're going to get scared, they're going to jump out of that, and they're going to have to put someone else in the role of phantom ex. And that's probably going to be you. If you've done it right and you went no contact and you healed and you moved on with your life, then you're going to be somewhere else completely. They're now going to perceive you as safe again because you are no longer requiring anything from them and they like a good chase. Now, if they don't jump into a new relationship, it's still the same thing. Essentially, they have to get to a point after they leave you where they go through the honeymoon phase of their independence, okay? And then they have to reach the point where that loneliness and that depression of, oh my God, why does this always happen to me? Why can't I accept love? Blah, blah, blah. They have to get to that point where they start feeling that. Simultaneously, you also have to be out of reach. They have to perceive you as completely moved on, not fawning over them, not texting them, not in contact. They have to perceive you as gone. I'll end this with a little story that'll give you so much insight. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a recovered avoidant. So he used to be a dismissive avoidant and then he got into healing for his attachment wound. Now, a number of years ago, he was in a relationship with a woman that he really loved. He really, really, really was so happy with her. But he was a dismissive avoidant. As the relationship progressed and intimacy was being formed, he started getting scared because he had this underlying wound that he was not lovable and he didn't deserve love. And so when she would tell him that she loved him and things like that, he didn't believe her. He started taking space from the relationship and ultimately it led to the relationship ending and him leaving, right? Well, she ended up moving on and finding someone else who she is now happily married to. It's been like 5 years now, and he told me he still thinks about her all the time and that he has tried to date and he can't find anyone who even comes close to her. It's one of his biggest regrets that he was not ready to accept love in that relationship. And all I can say is once an avoidant, always an avoidant. Like, you can heal from your attachment wounds, but I also feel like they're also still kind of there. Like for this guy, he is looking at her as the phantom ex now. Like, she was so perfect. She was so amazing. Nobody's ever going to come close to her because she is completely out of reach now. She's married to somebody else. He's never going to be able to have her back. So of course, she's perfect, right? She's the perfect fantasy. So just ask yourself, is this a game you want to play? You want to do this? My advice to you would be just heal. Just heal and move on. Either way, I mean, either you heal and move on and they want you back because you healed and moved on, or you heal and move on and you find somebody else and live a happy life and they still want you back, but you don't care.